This video is going to help us review some of the things that we have learned this trimester. So we're going to review combining like terms, the distributive property, solving for a variable, and inequalities. My head's in the way here. So when we are combining like terms, we need to remember that we can only combine things that are the same. Numbers, we can combine variables that are the same, and we can combine exponents that are the same. So looking here, do I have any more A's? Here's an A, but this is minus 5A. So we had 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're taking away 5 of them. So we're just left with 2 A's. Do we have any more B's? No, so we just do plus 6B. Do we have any more numbers? No, plus 4. So we can't put A's and B's together. We can't just put a number without a variable. So our equivalent expression is 2A plus 6B plus 4. Our next one here has 9h squared plus 5g minus 4h squared plus 3g minus 2. A lot of things. So we're just going to start looking. Do we have any h squareds? Yes, I can see we're going to take those away. So 5h squareds. Do we have any more g's? Yes, we have plus 3g's. So 5 plus 3 makes 8 g's. And then, so we've done our h's, our g's, and we just have a minus 2. So as you're combining, just remember to put the things that are the same together and be sure to pay attention to if they're being taken away or added on. Next, we're going to use the distributive property. So as we're doing this, we still need to remember to use our order of operations. Do we have any groups? Yes, but we can't combine for NSR. So groups are done. We don't have any exponents, but we do have multiplication here. We need to give. We can't just do it to the first one. We're doing 7 times this whole entire group. So 7 times 6 is 42 with an R. 7 times 4 is 28, and we just keep our symbol the same here. So this is this problem with the distributive property. Next, we have 4D times a group of 3D minus 9. So again, we want to always follow our order of operations. We have groups, but we can't combine D and 9. So groups are done. No exponents, so we are looking for multiplication. So we have multiply here. We're going to give. So 4 times 3 is 12. And D times D is D squared. Then we have minus 4 times 9 is 36. With this D here, we can't combine these because this is a square. This is just a D. So remember when we do D times D, we have to give that variable a square here. So our answer is 12D squared minus 36D. Next, we are going to use the distributive property to go backwards. We're going to factor out something that these two terms have in common. So we want to do the greatest common factor. So 8 and 12, what can go into 8 and 12? The biggest number that goes into those is 4. So 8 divided by 4, we're left with 2. 12 divided by 4, we're left with 3. So what we're left with is what's going to go inside the group. So we're left with 2x and plus we're left with a 3. It's always nice to go back and check. 4 times 2 is 8 with an x plus 4 times 3 is 12. 8x plus 12. So after we factor that out, we can distribute it back and make sure that our equations or our expressions all match each other. Next, we have 6x squared plus 9x. So we want to see what do 6x squared and 9x have in common. So let's look at our numbers first. Do 6 and 9 have a factor in common? They both have 3. So 6 divided by 3, we're left with 2. And 9 divided by 3, we're left with 3. So do these have anything else in common? They both have an x. So when I divide by x, it just gets rid of this square here. And this one, we used it up. There was only 1 to get rid of. So what are we left with here? We're left with 2x. What are we left with here? Plus a 3. So let's go back and check and see if our expressions match up here. So 3 times 2 is 6. X times x is x squared. 3 times 3 is 9 with 1x, 6x squared plus 9x. So this is the factored expression of this. Okay, we are going to solve for x. So we need to do 7x. So the opposite of times is to divide by 7 on both sides. This cancels out. X equals 7. I can plug it back in. 7 times 7 is 49. So x is 7. Our next one says 9 plus x is 43. We want to get x alone. We have a positive 9 here. So we're going to take that away on both sides. And so 9 minus 9 is 0, so we're just left with an x. 43 minus 9, so we need to borrow. 13 minus 9 is 4, and a 3. X equals 34. 9 plus 34 equals 43. So that works. X is 34. Our next one here says 5/6 times 35. The opposite of timesing is to divide. So we want to divide by 5/6 here and divide by 5/6 here. So this is going to cancel out and just be 1x. So here we have 35 divided by 5/6. So we want to put this over 1, and we're going to copy, dot, and flop this here. So I can see this can simplify. 5 goes into 5 one time. 35 goes into divided by 5 is 7. So 7 times 6 is 42. So our answer is 42. So 5/6 of 42. So if I have 42 brownies and I want 5/6 of them, that would be 35. Does that make sense there? So remember, when we're solving for the variable, do the opposite to both sides. So what is happening? How can I get rid of that number? Do the same to both sides. Okay, last, we are going to practice our inequalities. So x is less than 12. We're going to write it as an inequality, a solution set, and we're going to graph that. So x is less than 12. So x is less than 12. X is less than 12. So I need to come up with 3 things that x could equal here. So can it equal 12? No, it has to be less than 12. So I'm going to say 11, 9, and 7. So if I'm graphing this here, I'm going to say here's 0, here is 11. So remember, this garage door is open. It's not shut down to the bottom. It does not include 11. 11 can escape out, and then it goes, I have to make it touch, oh, sorry, this is 12. I circle the number that it's on. X is 12, but it's open, but it could be 11, it could be 9, it could be 7. So I make my arrow go that same direction. 42 is greater than or equal to W. So just write what we hear. 42 is greater than or equal to W. So we can see it includes W, that garage door. Shut that in there. 42 is trapped in. So we want to think of 3 things that W could equal. And since it has that equal sign, we want to start with it could be 42. And then 42 is bigger. So that means any of these numbers have to be less. So it could be 41. It could be 40. So on my graph here, I'm going to put 0 over here. And 42 is where we're starting. So I circle 42 because that's what I'm comparing it to. And we're shutting that door. So we're going to fill that in. It's trapping in 42. 42 is included. It could also equal 41 and 40. So my and 42 in here. So it goes to the left here. Okay, I want to try this one last problem here. So we have 7x is greater than or equal to 42. So we want to get x alone. We're just going to pretend like this is an equal sign for right now. So we're going to divide by 7 on both sides, the opposite of multiply. So we're left with x is greater than or equal to 6. So I can make a solution set. X could be 6, or it could be bigger. So now I can graph that. So here is 0. Here is 6. Let me make this a little longer here. So so x is greater than 6. So I'm comparing to 6. I can see it's closed in here. So I fill that in. And then it could be 6, it could be 7, it could be 9. So my arrow on this one goes to the right to show that when I have 7 times x is greater than or equal to 42, this x has to be 6 or bigger. So it's the exact same thing that we're doing with those equations. It just has the inequality. You solve it, you graph it. Okay, so you guys are going to complete the Try to Grade 6 math test. There's 12 questions on there. It's very similar to the ones that we just practiced. If you have any questions before you take that, be sure to let me know. Otherwise, good luck. You are going to do awesome.